Hi, welcome to McBoss Capital channel. My name is Michael Chu. This is a video for the growth stock list I follow for the week ending October 17, 2025. Here's the daily status here of the growth stocks. I follow roughly 417 growth stocks at this moment. There's only 18% in uptrend right now, so 68 out of 417, and then 49 are within 1% neutral of the short-term moving averages, and then downtrend are the ones that are just below the moving averages. So you can see here very high numbers throughout the whole week below the moving averages. So most stocks are officially in downtrend right now. And you can see new highs. Not many stocks are making new highs anymore, so that is also a really bad sign. So many stocks have kind of, either starting to go into a downtrend, or they're just not showing signs of moving up anymore because they're not hitting new highs. So this could be a problem for the market. So something to be aware of. So here's the growth stocks list on my spreadsheet here. This is the symbol right there, and they're ranked based on price performance here since July 14. So July 14 was roughly, more than 4 months ago. Sorry, 3 months ago. July, yeah. So right now it's October. So that was the beginning of last earnings season. So I'm going to be creating a new list right now based on the new earnings season right now. Stocks that are going to be reporting well, they will go on that list. But like I said, there's just too short of a list to even talk about right now. But as time moves on, the next 3 weeks, we're going to see lots of stocks reporting, and we're going to build up that new list of growth stocks that are showing great earnings. Generally, that's my filter criteria for any stocks that show forward guidance of at least roughly around 10% momentum there for each quarter. There's obviously some exceptions I will make, but in general, that's kind of my fundamental criteria. I don't usually follow speculative stocks, but I do follow them right now because there's so many of them that has gone up so much. If they start to fall, that would be a negative sign for the market. It means that there's a risk-off environment, and we may see more selling coming up. But so far, I mean, this week we saw some of that. I don't want to go into details because again, that's not stock that I usually trade, like the rare earth stuff or the nuclear stocks and so forth, right? But here we see the price performance again. Here we see what's up, being uptrend and downtrend based on the 10 and 21-day moving average. Here's the highest date, meaning when was the last time you make a new high, and I see a lot of them says October 16th, so that was 2 days ago from Wednesday. So which means a lot of this stocks was top, right? So for example, this is the group here and the sector here, and we see lots of commodities at the top because that's what been doing well recently until Friday, because Friday a lot of them got hit hard. So we look at HL here. So here's HL, and you can see like it was a pretty much, I would classify this as a climax action here, and it hit a new high above the upper channel line, and that's probably a good short-term signal to be offensively selling some gains. And then as it comes down hard, obviously that's a big give back right here, from here to here. Um, so so it just happened so fast. It was down 8%, and now we're back to our 10-day moving average again. So that's why buying stock extended is always a trap. If you bought here or here, you are probably down right now. We see CDE here and MUX here. So again, we also see SSRM, which is another stock here. So some of this, this one turned downtrend here. Let's look at some of this. So CDE do the same thing. Very similar chart. Make new high here. Again, very strong run and hitting the upper channel line here, and then reverse right now. Sometimes this can go form into a bigger correction, and it could happen. Because it's so far off all the moving averages, right? It can, even if correct, it's still way above 50-day and 200-day here. So just be cautious that this could happen. Now it might not happen. We could bounce back very fast here and just keep going again. It could happen. Like again, gold has been really strong. Like it's definitely one of the strongest areas. MUX, this one is even crazier. Look at that channel line, like completely just shadow that upper channel line and reverse here. So the good thing is this thing closed at the bottom, but still it still dropped quite a bit here. SSRM, this one, didn't really move too much recently, but it did bounce to new high and then came back down. Now it's kind of below some of the 10 day, at least for the 10 day. You can see GFI here. What else? You see Barrick here. Here's Barrick mining also reversing after making new high. And look at how fast it came back down to the 21, near the 21 day. We also see solar here shows. So this one also jump up really strong here. Again, this one definitely also broke the upper channel line here. And then pulling back. Now it did bounce back on Friday, so potentially this could bounce again. So that's the good thing. But or it could come back down. We'll see. So one of the things you notice here, even in the top 25, like we're starting to see a lot of downtrend, right? Again, there's not many stocks in uptrend right now. That's the problem. But yeah, so let's look at I will talk about biotech in a second. Let's go to CN. The CN telecom fiber optics. Look at this nice bounce on Friday. This looks like it still want to go. It's quite an amazing stock. I don't hear anyone talk about this stock actually. Kind of interesting. Here's MU data storage. So look at this Micron here. It bounced back, and on Friday it came down, and then it doesn't want to go down and bounce back. And like this is exactly the kind of action I like to see on an uptrend momentum. And this one has been on a very strong uptrend momentum. Pretty much riding the 10-day support line here pretty well. So looks like this one to keep going. In this group, we also have Seagate here. Now, this one also tried to bounce back, but Friday, it's still all above the 10-day right now. So we'll see, how it react here. If it follow Micron's footstep and continue higher, or whether it just this downtrend line could be, just very steep and it can't go through it. This is Pure Storage also in the same group. This one bounced very slightly on Friday, so not enough of a bounce to show strength yet, but yeah, I would draw a alert here line just in case it does bounce back above it. We have another stock here, fiber optics here, LITE, which actually shows strength this week. So it's Lumentum. So this one is trying to bounce back as well. So that looks pretty good. We'll see if we can hold above this 10-day and keep going higher. So as we saw earlier, based on sector, health is the strongest right now, surprisingly, and you can see some of the stocks here. So rank number 3 is ESPR. So I have no idea whether what's going to happen in the next few weeks, but biotechs and some health stocks are showing strength right now, which is kind of interesting. Actually, most of this has corrected even before the last Friday. And you can see this is a very good example of that. ESPR was very strong stock here. I traded a lot on this stock here in this run, and as you can see, we had this huge down day here, and slowly we're rising back up. And look at what it did on Friday. I enter a new position here, so we'll see if this will work. But it looks pretty good here. Bouncing back above the short-term moving average. Next, we have Taurus, ranked number 11. So Taurus have a huge move on Wednesday, and then Thursday it kind of made a new high, but Friday is pulling back right now. So again, a little bit extended, and the 10-day slope looks like this. So we'll see how it reacts around near the 10-day as it comes back, whether it can bounce soon. But this is also on a very strong uptrend right now. Next we have ALNY and ASTH both making new highs here. So this one actually building nice tight base. Look at the bottom here. That is tight. I mean that is really tight. This is a 585 near $480 stock. So yeah, this is a nice uptrend right now. You can see the bottom channel line pretty strong. External Health. This one also been rising on the bottom channel line here in the base here, looking really good, and starting to come near the breakout traditional buy point right here. So it looks really good. So there's PTSG in uptrend, PAHC uptrend, AVDL uptrend, MDGL within 1%, KNSA, ARDT, those are in uptrend, ARQT within 1%, ATech in uptrend, MERM within 1%, ENSG making new high. This one also showing very tight action here. So this is the base is forming, and then we did have one volatile day here. After that day, we kind of bounced back and then found support at the 10-day, and now it's been moving nicely. Friday kind of broke out from this high handle here. So near the 180 mark. So yeah, I enter here. We'll see if this can work. We have INCY here ranked 89 in uptrend, ASND within 1%, HCA within 1%, So, we're still seeing a lot of stocks this week got hit hard, like the Lily News, all the hymns, and I think Novartis somewhere. So not all are positive. So I think the Trump administration announced they want the weight loss prices a lot low, weight loss prices lower, and that pushed it down really hard. But it did rebound though, so that's a good thing. So we'll see if we continue to find support. Novartis also making new low. I mean, this chart is really hard to read now because it has dropped so much. So this one is definitely a laggard. And then Hims tried to break out here. Unfortunately, it did not work. And look at this, it broke the 50-day line on Friday. It didn't even bounce whatsoever. It lost 15%. So, but this overall group, like I said, you see more yellow in uptrend than downtrend, whereas most other sectors are just mostly downtrend right now. So in the retail side, not too many stocks on the list here at the top. UNFI in the wholesale food area. This one is showing lots of ants here recently, and it's all still above the 10-day, trading very tightly, looking pretty good on Friday. It's a tight range again. It just doesn't want to come down to 10-day. So we'll see if it will bounce anytime soon. Then we have CLS and CENX here. So here's CLS Celestica. It formed this nice base right here, and then it tried to come out, and it did move pretty hard, making a new high here, but it kind of pulled back on Friday. And so we'll see how it reacts as it comes closer to the 10-day here. But this looks very interesting right now. Another stock that has been showing lots of strength is CENX here, Century Aluminum, related to aluminum related products here, and this is also very strong right now. Look at the 10-day, it found support many times here, and it's still going. And look at this Thursday and Friday, like it just doesn't want to come down much further than the 10-day. So very strong support level. So we have Modine here within 1%. We talk about AMD in the main video. Newmont Mining, gold still a little bit above in uptrend. Again, you see lots of downtrend here, so it's just not too many stocks showing strong action, unfortunately. So those, I think for uptrend stocks, that's probably it. It's just very narrow right now. Let's look at some downtrend stocks. Here's Resi in the security area. So this one was very strong runner until recently it started to pull back. And then right here I took an entry point, and unfortunately it just doesn't have much power right there. And then here we on Friday it give back again, and now we at the pink line here, 21 days. So if we felt that support, it probably could snap through that and goes towards the 50-day here. So there's a lot of stocks that look very bad right now because it get rejected. Something, again, I don't short too many stocks, but if you do, this is like a very good, catalyst here because it just got rejected at the 10-day and it just dropped from there. So that would be a good short candidate. But anyhow, I don't advise shorting because shorting is really, really hard to do. It's all about timing it perfectly, for that one big down day, which could happen. But again, you don't know what's going to happen because it could just go sideways here and just gyrate here. Next, we have App Loving still near the top. Before we look at this stock, I just want to say sometimes it's good to look at uptrend stocks all the time, which is a good thing. You practice your skill on looking for momentum stocks. But it's also good to study stocks in downtrend because you want to see how it reacts near the short-term moving averages, and that could be a good signal for you to get out, or to even short, right? But yeah, so this is one stock that has kind of hit hard very early on here, and then you see right here got rejected at the 10-day and come back down again. Now, as it comes back down, it finds higher level of support, right? which is a good thing. And now it comes back down to 10-day. It looks like, it could get rejected here again. Like it doesn't want to go above that, but it hasn't come back down yet, right? So if it does come back down and test this low, then that would be bad, especially if it fell. But it hasn't really broke down yet, right? So there's some support right now. So that's what I'm seeing again. Always kind of balance, right? What do you see as negatives? What do you see as positive? And then you balance that and kind of weight that risk based on that. So here's Prime in the biotech area. This one, very choppy. There's no doubt. I mean, you can see the chop here, and even the most recent 2 days here. It tried to come back up each time, but as you see, what do you see at the top here? It's making lower highs, right? So there's lots of choppiness here, and we did make a new recent low here on Friday, so that's always negative. So this, it's again, this is why it's not easy to short because it could bounce back here again, right? Like it's not, you don't know when, if it does have that one big down day, you don't know when that's gonna happen. But right now it looks pretty bad because it just got rejected again. Next we have MP. This is the rare earth stock, the only rare earth stock on my list. It did make a nice move right here from this breakout and then move up pretty fast, 20% or more. And then from there, you can see like, I just have to keep selling here as it keep making newer lows here. And then now it's below the 10-day. So we have the 21-day here. So we'll see if we can find support here. Yeah, we have ERO in downtrend here as well. Pro KRMN, aerospace defense. So this one is still holding up near the 10-day. It did bounce back here, so that's a good sign. So we'll see if we can continue the bounce here or whether this becomes a downtrend line and just start following that trend line down. Next we have TEM here. TEM also has been volatile lately. It tried to come back up here, but it couldn't. So again, that could be a potential short signal because it got rejected and reversed. And then you can see it make new low on Friday, right? So, but it did bounce back a little bit towards the middle range, but it still make a new low. House, another aerospace defense stock. This one was driving up really nicely, and then you see this day here where it got rejected and reversed from the 10-day moving average, and then it just kind of fall apart from there. So this is a good example of what stocks can do once they fell below their short-term moving average. Is that usually it will gap down, and then it will start heading towards the 50-day. So that's the risk. Once you drop below the 10 and 21 day, the gap between 10, 21 day and 50 days is usually pretty big for some of these growth stocks that have run much higher. And so you have much more risk, right, going down because you're giving back even more as it comes down. And it's at a really fast pace. You can see this one thing, you learn over time is that when it goes up, it takes many, many sessions to go up, but it comes down, like literally this is like, you can count 7 sessions. They give back, a lot of the gains, right? So yeah, I wanted to talk about like my trade around this stock because I did pretty well here. I got in around there from the trend line, breaking above this trend line here. As it goes up, I saw some here. There's some little bit of turbulence there, and then my final trade was right here as I got out. But the ultimate top was actually the next day where it went really high and then reversed all the way back. And from there, we see more signals of selling here and then the more recent rejection was right here from the 10-day and it just came down and now it's giving back a lot. So it goes up in a very slow motion. Not slow for this stock, it's still pretty fast, but it just take many days. And then look at, it only took 7 sessions to come back to giving up a lot of gains. So it gave up, in 7 sessions here, it gave back, what you earn in like, 50, even more sessions here. So we have GLW here. This is Apple supplier, Corning. It's slightly below the 10 days, so not too alarming yet. Just have to watch and see whether this will, give up the potential here and head towards the 21 day or below. You can see there's lots of stocks here in downtrend right now. Credo, Rambus, Symbolic, and even some gold stocks here, OR. Again, just lots of stocks in downtrend right now. Probably won't get resolved in the near term until earnings season come out and see how stocks behave. Here at 82, we have ANET here. um, and you can see this big break right there, and then it kind of like tried to bounce back here, but it got rejected. And then on Friday it gapped down, but then it kind of bounced back a little bit. But overall, this is kind of like an L-shaped, pattern now, which is bearish. So as time goes on, this downtrend line is going to be very important. Next, we have Reddit here. It's been sliding for a while now. You see here, got rejected at the 10-day, and then here we got another one right there. And it's just constantly making new lows. And now we're getting closer and closer to the 200-day now. It's kind of scary actually, how much it has given back. So this is now actually down 31.1% from the top. Here's Oracle. It was bouncing really nice here, and you can see this uptrend line, but it broke the uptrend line. Momentum here now is below 10-day, and it didn't close well on Friday either, so that is not a good sign. As we go down here, we see Dell. So Dell also did really well recently, and then it started to pull back, and it pulled back right here, and then we bounce. And look at that reversal right there. It's pretty ugly reversal. So again, this is not a good sign, because now we can easily draw a downtrend line right here, and can continue this downtrend at that slope. And there's just so many stocks are in downtrend right now. It's just very, very horrible right now. It's not a good environment. Here's Palantir. Palantir is just slightly sitting below the 10-day right here. Has this cup base, and then it went sideways, and this sideways range is kind of look like this right now, and it's just not doing much. So as long as it doesn't break the low here, 170 or so, this can still have a chance to break out. But if it breaks that and doesn't bounce back at all, then we could be in trouble. And yeah, as you can go through this list, lots of stocks in downtrend right now. And here is commercial metals CMC in downtrend right now. This is due to this earnings report right here. So it was building a really tight base, and it was actually trying to come out right here. And I did take a position that day. Unfortunately, the earnings came out and it wasn't good, and I got knocked out pretty fast here. Again, it did bounce back slightly on Friday, so that's good. So we'll see whether this is a huge shakeout or not. But it's still kind of near the 10-day line, not quite above it yet. So we'll see if it does bounce back, that this might be a good entry point. But let's see. Next we see DoorDash here, and there was a temp breakout on Thursday right here. Unfortunately, you see how it reversed completely that day, and that is very negative sign. And now we are officially in downtrend, way below the 10-day, and right now it bounced from the red line here, 50-day. We'll see if this will hold, but yeah, this is looking a little bit dangerous at this moment. So once again, not a very good environment right now to trade stocks, in the sense that when it breaks out, it just fails right away, or it fails, a few sessions later. We have NVIDIA here, which we talk about in the main video. Next we have GEV. This one has been trading in the base consolidation mode for a while now, after this nice run. But recently you can see it's again looking pretty bad here, action here. But overall, it's still trading near the bottom of this support line down here. So based on that, there's less risk at this level. And then it's not far from this low here. So there's a couple of protection level here. It's reporting very soon, so we'll see what will happen next here. So yeah, feel free to go through most of this list here, but again, they're all in downtrend. But like I said, it's good to study downtrend stocks to see how they form and how they get rejected, and how they're trading so you can protect your risk in that sense. We see Netflix here, which is also mentioned in the main market video. Yeah, so there's lots of growth stocks just currently in short-term downtrend mode, which is very bad for the market. So until something change, I would kind of stay very lightly, mostly just out of the market, and see how this market can bounce back or not. One stock that I did trade on the short side was A Lab here. This is not on my growth stock list just because of There was some forward guidance that are not the strongest, but obviously the past guidance has been really strong. But here is the rejection at the 10-day. Many times, you know, 1, 2, 3, and then this one was the most recent one where it just fell below it, and then we have a huge down day that day for following that drop. And so this is the problem. Again, if you see rejections near the 10-day, especially a few times, it could be setting up for a big down day. So that is something that you can see here, drop 19%. And even then, after that, like look at the, you know, that's another thing. Like, you know, after the drop, there's not much of a bounce, and then you can see it hit new low again. So look at the bounce. Now, sometimes when it sell hard, so hard, it can bounce back very quickly towards the 10-day slope. This is the 10-day slope right now. But this one hasn't bounced back at all, which is kind of not a good thing. So there's a high chance this will continue towards the 200-day support line here. Hope you guys learned something from this video. And again, lots of stocks in downtrend. Um, I really want to cautious that anything can turn very ugly very soon in this market. I hope not to see the Friday from previous Friday before how it dropped 3% in all the index. But that could happen, right? Now on the upside, as I mentioned in the main market video, there is some health stocks, as I mentioned earlier, that are showing some that are already showing some base building, and now it's trying to come back out on the right side. Those are potential movers, and I did trade some of those on Friday to see if they will work. But again, in a market condition that is deteriorating, it becomes tougher and tougher to even trade stocks that are breaking out. Thank you all for watching. Hope you guys please like and subscribe. Thank you.